We've been seeing a disturbing question floating around lately. Frustrated streamers who are understandably bothered by the higher prices and confusion of where to watch their favorite team, movie, or show are asking, should I just go back to cable?
And we totally get why people are asking. With so many streaming services, rising prices, and constant changes, it's no wonder some folks are feeling cord cutter regret.
In fact, TiVo's Q2 2025 Video Trends Report shows that more people are going back to cable than we've seen in years. So today we're going to look at the data, talk about what's really going on, and share why even though we understand the frustration, we still don't think going back to cable makes sense.
We'll also give you 3 steps to fix your streaming situation better than cable can. Steps that will help you save money and still get the shows and sports you love. Let's start by diving into the data.
We pay attention to TiVo's quarterly trends report because it's a great pulse on what's happening across streaming, cable, and live TV.
And the most recent one has some surprising insights. The big headline is that the number of people who cut the cord and later went back to cable or satellite jumped to 31.9% in Q2 2025. That's up about 10% from last year.
And that's a pretty big jump. The report doesn't dig into every reason why, but we can guess that it has something to do with price creep on streaming bundles, confusion about where to watch your shows, and live sports access all play a role.
TiVo also found that local content, so things like news, weather, and local sports, is becoming more important. In fact, 61% of viewers say it matters to them. That's up from just 55% a year ago, and almost 30% of all viewing time is now spent watching local content.
On top of that, the average household now uses about 11 different video sources. Now, those can be live TV apps, FAST platforms, or on-demand subscriptions. But the bottom line is that number is up from just 9 last year. So it's getting crowded and even more confusing, not to mention expensive, to know where to watch your favorite shows, movies, and games. Could this be why people are feeling tempted to go back to cable?
It absolutely could be. It makes sense that some people look at the currently messy state of streaming and think, forget it. I just want one remote and one bill again.
Now, when it comes to simplicity, cable has that appeal. It's simple. You know where to find everything. You get local channels and live sports, and you don't have to worry about passwords or rotating subscriptions. And you get it all with one bill. The problem is the price of that convenience is too high.
For households that watch a lot of sports or just want the news on in the background, the idea of one place for everything feels pretty nice.
And TiVo's survey backs that up. Among people thinking about cutting the cord, the top 3 concerns are not being able to get the content they want, not being sure they'll actually save money, and needing too many streaming services to replace what they had.
And listen, we definitely get it. When your streaming budget creeps up to $100 or more a month and you're still missing your team's games, it can feel like maybe cable wasn't so bad after all. But here's why we still say we won't go back to cable.
Let's be clear, we are not at all saying people are wrong to feel frustrated, but we are saying that going back to cable won't solve those problems.
Because the core issue is cost. Cable is still expensive and only getting more so. The average bill for traditional pay TV runs $60 to $100 or more each month, and that's before fees, taxes, and equipment charges.
And you lose flexibility with cable. With streaming, you can pause or cancel a service whenever you want. With cable, you're locked into contracts, price hikes, and those wonderful limited time promotions that expire right when you start to enjoy them.
Plus, you're still paying for tons of channels you rarely watch. We all know that feeling of scrolling past dozens of channels only to land on the same several networks.
So, while cable looks simpler on the surface, it comes with a big price tag and less control. That's why we say, don't go back. Instead, get smarter with your streaming.
Here's what we recommend, and this is what we do ourselves. First, do a streaming audit. Take a month and track what you actually watch. Write it down or use a notes app. You might be surprised how many services you're paying for that you barely use.
Once you see the list, circle the shows and networks that really matter to you. Everything else is optional. Then set a streaming budget.
Decide how much you want to spend each month on TV and movies. Say it's $40 or $50 a month. Whatever you can afford and want to spend on streaming. Then make the services fit that budget instead of the other way around.
You can rotate services seasonally to help keep costs in check. You can keep one or two core ones year-round and swap the rest based on what's airing. That's the beauty of streaming. You're in control. Finally, pick your essentials and cancel the rest.
If you realize you only watch 2 shows on Hulu, don't keep it all year. Cancel and come back when there's something new you want to see.
Same holds with Netflix, Max, Paramount Plus, and whatever else you use. If you only want to watch a series or 2, wait until it's done airing, subscribe for a month, binge it, and cancel. Supplement your paid apps with free ones. There's a lot of good free content out there. But what about live sports and local news?
This is usually the main argument for going back to cable, but there are smarter ways to handle it.
For sports, check which networks actually carry your teams. You might find that you only need one service like ESPN Unlimited, Fox One, or a specific league app, and maybe you don't need an entire cable bundle.
For local channels, start with an antenna if you can. It's free and gets you ABC, CBS, Fox, and NBC. If that doesn't work where you live, you can fill the gaps with Paramount Plus for CBS, Peacock for NBC, and Fox One for Fox.
You don't need cable for that. You just need to be strategic about what you're paying for. Well, let's wrap this up with why this is happening right now.
Streaming is in a transition phase. We're seeing bundles come back in new forms like ESPN Unlimited and Fox One, and prices are rising across the board. But that doesn't mean we're back to the old days of cable.
The key difference is choice. You can customize your lineup and still spend less than you would with traditional pay TV, as long as you're intentional about it.
So instead of running back to cable out of frustration, pause and take stock of your setup. You can always rebuild it to fit your needs without locking yourself into a contract.
Again, we get why people are feeling streaming fatigue. We get the overload and the subscription sprawl, but the solution isn't going back. It's making the most of what you have.
So do a streaming audit, set your budget, and pick your must-have services. Cancel the rest. You'll be amazed how much you can save and how much simpler it feels once you stream with an intention.
Are you a cord cutter who's considering going back to cable? Tell us why in the comments below. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you can get all our latest news and reviews when they drop. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.